you know.
Yeah, I can't afford him. I'm just fine doing my Deep Space Nine stuff, you know what I mean?
I would say Lost in Space, the Munsters, and the Monkeys are probably the 3 high toy collectibles right
I
now.
like the first 2 that you mentioned. You know.
Monsters.
Well, the Monkeys isn't sci-fi, of course; it's musical.
I do want to say just a few people that we want to put on camera right now is these 3. Angie.
They want? Who ain't going over?
No, don't.
No, not Angie. I want to get these 2.
Yeah, that's all right. Looks like she's heating it up, though.
Huh? Are you shy?
But so back in Lost in Space.
Where? Planted seen it?
Did you feel the same way about Lost in Space that I did with the robot as it progressed? Do you think they've sort of overkilled that robot?
Well, I think the robot was probably the first non-human character on primetime television.
He had emotions, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a good move for the network to make him more human, the kids to identify with.
But you don't think they overkilled it any?
Well, I don't think they overkilled with the what I think they overkilled was, I'll tell you what I think they overkilled. I think they overkilled the interplay between the robot, Dr. Smith, and young Will Robinson. I think when the story is focused on just the 3 of them going off on their adventures and the rest of the cast was left back at the spaceship, I think that's when the show kind of lost its credibility. That's what I think. You know, I'm a big fan of action, adventure, science fiction, and I think Guy Williams and Mark Goddard and June Lockhart all got cheated out of some very good moments.
Marta Kristen did too, I think.
Marta Kristen did too. Angela Cartwright had good moments, but as the show went on, it did focus just on the robot Will and Smith. And I don't know why that happened. Probably Jonathan Harris had more power at the studio because he was...
He probably threatened to leave or something if he didn't get his own way.
You know, I was always... The show always got my interest back when they featured the other members of the cast. When Guy Williams had something to do that week, or Mark Goddard had something to do. You know, those episodes are really, really good. I know you remember the Antimatter Man.
I love that
Antimatter Man episode from the third year.
That was excellent.
Where it was Don and John, you know, in alternate universe, and they were evil, and it was, you know, that was back to the...
That was good.
Yeah, that was back to the sci-fi.
I watched that, and I'm like amazed still nowadays, because that episode is one of my favorites also. There's a lot of Lost in Space episodes I like. I just don't like the one when the robot dies. I just can't take that one.
Oh, when
he's dying or something.
When they go inside to try to fix him.
I can't take that one. That's... I'm a whip, boom, 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 boom.
If I could talk a moment about Guy Williams, who played John Robinson.
Maybe, too bad if I didn't find out at the convention too late, we could have got it down here, but it was too late. I didn't know no numbers, you know.
Well, I mean...
Maybe someday.
Mark's all around. I mean, he's very accessible because he lives near here.
Yeah, but I don't have no numbers. Maybe someday, if you hear of anybody that has a number.
Stone in Mass,
He was brought up in Lowell, Massachusetts. And I think his mother still lives there, and he goes back and forth.
I met him at the convention a few years ago, but I'm not going to get into
Here's a person, along with Guy Williams, they were both very unhappy how the show was constantly focused on the Dr. Smith character.
I think that was stupid, actually.
Thank you for saying that.
You know.
Dr. Smith was like...
but Jonathan Harris, you got to understand, he was an excellent actor.
Oh, yeah.
And he wrote his own scenes for the show. Okay? And it was probably because of him that the show lasted as long as it did. Because he was, you know, he got nominated for an Emmy, for crying out loud. I mean, he was a real good actor, and he was really the focal point. But when the producers gave the other people in the cast a chance, I mean, it was a phenomenal show. Guy Williams, I got a clip I'm going to play in a couple seconds. We did a special, you and I, and a few people around here did a special on the work of Guy Williams and how he was neglected in Lost in Space. And we tried to feature his best moments on that show. And I think when that happened and when the other people were featured, I think when the whole cast was featured as a unit, a family surviving on an unknown planet, I mean, that's when the moments were the best in the show.
I was very happy when I finally met the cast of Lost in Space. I do feel bad that the Guy Williams passed away before I got to meet the cast, but I was very happy. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was a nice convention. I enjoyed every minute of it, you know, and I do thank you for letting me know about it. before, you know, I do want to
Yeah, it was
thank
a lot of
you.
fun. It was a lot of fun.
I do thank you, though, for letting me know about it, you know, because you knew about it before I did.
It's time for me to exit once again.
Oh, to do
prepare
the
a clip. I'll be right back.
Okay, Perry.
All right,
Thank
back
you.
to the Macarena.
He was the one that let me know about the Lost in Space convention.
Want to introduce our guest?
While he's in,
Introduce our guest?
do you want to introduce
Yeah,
the guest in the peanut gallery? While
Peanut
he's doing
Gallery, we
that?
have Angie, we have the other,
We have Albina and Florence. They are our
to get them on the air.
guests from Pawtucket who we invited to the show this evening. Could we get a shot of them on camera too, please?
they're always welcome to come
Wait
back
for the
and let us
camera.
know.
Everybody knows
They
Angie.
never
She's just a regular
miss
peanut
our
gallery.
show. They've never missed our show. So we invited them down to the audience, and this is blackmail for them.
Yeah.
So,
And there's the notorious voice of the peanut gallery sitting next to me. And
so let's hear it for they've never missed a show, so let's hear it for them.
Don't
Thanks for
worry,
coming
everybody
now, guys.
warned the two.
All right,
Ready?
coming back.
Everybody warned the two ladies about me being excited.
By the time Guy left Bonanza in the spring of 1964, producer Irwin Allen was looking for someone to star in his new space adventure series. Irwin had been a successful producer and already had a hit show on the air called Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Guy Williams was offered the role of Professor John Robinson, father of the first family to explore deep space. He was excited about taking the role, not for any great exercises in acting, but because the 20th Century Fox Studios, where the series was filmed, was close to his house, so it was only a 10-minute commute. And so, on September 15th, 1965, Lost in Space debuted on CBS starring Guy Williams and Gene Lockhart. It quickly became a hit, and again, Guy was the star of another successful television series.
Heading the expedition will be Dr. John Robinson, professor of astrophysics at the University of Stellar Dynamics. Now seen on your screen.
Hey, how about a hand? Yeah, give me a hand! Here, give me a hand. Hold on, the planet's falling. We can't get around it. We've had it. Stop! Stop! Point. Hey! Smith! Judy. Will? Why don't you offer to fight? But get off me!
I've never seen a spaceship that big in my life. I can just see him going to a whole lot of trouble to bring back your duplicate.
So I'm giving you 1 hour to get him back here.
Whether you like it or not, I'm going to try to save your life along with the others.
We're going out of control. We've got to find a way to repair the system, not destroy it.
All right, everybody, hang on.
In one of his last interviews, Williams said, "The main idea of Lost in Space was the special effects. Irwin is great at them. And our struggle as actors was to stay away from all the flashing equipment when we were doing our scenes. They would stick us in front of equipment that was whizzing, and I knew the audience would watch the machines. So we would move to the left or move to the right, and the camera would hopefully follow the machines as they exploded."
He's burning out! Get away from those controls and put a fire extinguisher on it! Let me out! Here, take this guitar! Let the power just nice and gas pressure! Right! Well! Let's go! Shift the blame! You something!
That was a good clip. That was a good clip.
Well, really some decent
That was
clips
the
tonight.
special that Perry did on Guy Williams. So.
Perry, I was wondering when you get down here, did you win an award for that show? Because that was
John and I won a New England Cable Emmy Award for that show.
excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent. awesome clips.
I guess there must have been some Guy Williams fans in the
Oh, yeah. Hey,
in the voting.
the only favorite actor on a TV show. My favorite is Bill Mummy, Marta Kristen, Mark Goddard, all right? And you know my favorite one was Sunday, but Mark Goddard was nice and letting us have the interview, but I didn't get I bring that tape because I totally did not think of it across it slipped your mind. You know?
Actually, I thought of it, but I couldn't locate it because I have a copy of that too.
Maybe next time you come down, we'll show it?
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, because everything slipped in my mind today. It's like,
Yeah, I know, Paladin.
Daphne.
Oh, we better edit that out.
All right.
It's been said so many times.
It's been said so many times, so it don't matter.
There's a new movie out. Let me tell you the people
Okay,
who are in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, this is interesting.
All right. The movie is starting to be filmed in London on March 1st.
Excellent.
That's when filming begins. All the sets are built. The ship is built. The robot is built.
Is it the same type of robot?
What's going to happen is it's a completely different robot.
Oh,
But according to the plot of the movie, this completely different robot gets destroyed somehow during the course of the adventure, and Will Robinson has to put it back together. And when he puts it back together, he puts it back together to make it look like the Lost in Space robot.
Excellent.
He puts it back together that way. So that's how we get the robot from the series back together. But Professor Robinson is being played by actor William Hurt.
I
You know who
remember
that is?
Very good actor.
He's from Body Heat, and he was from Kiss of the Spider Woman, The Big Chill.
Yeah.
A lot of
The recent movie
He's a
Michael
actor,
with John Travolta.
a lot of credit to his name.
June Lockhart is played by Mimi Rogers. She's a character actress.
Another actress. that
She
has
was
a lot of
recently
credit.
in the Barbra Streisand movie The Mirror Has Two Faces.
Let's do that.
Wouldn't that have been great if it was played by Ian Lockhart, though?
Yeah, wouldn't it be better than
Yeah,
Lockhart daughter?
I'm sure somebody thought of that.
Didn't they have any brains? I mean, they should have
Yeah,
had
it's-
Will
I'm
Robinson.
sorry.
Well, they're not turning the offer down.
I'm sure it was.
Who knows how many connections they wanted to make? You know, Anne Lockhart, as far as I know, she's retired. She goes to these shows and signs autographs, and she doesn't do
They
anything.
even should have had Bill Mummy's son, Seth Mummy, play the role of Will Robinson. That
He's
would
too young. He's like 6. He's too young.
Yeah.
He's
What, the age of
he's
Will?
5 or 6. He's too
Will
young.
Robinson.
Will Robinson was 10.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was
know.
off by 4 years. Oh, okay.
So, the part of Judy Robinson is being played by a girl named Heather Green. She's an up-and-coming new actress. I don't know who she is.
Oh, gosh, this girl's really modest, excellent acting.
No, she'll be
No,
all right. I think she'll
you'd be
all right.
surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot of these movies that you've had these actresses or actors come in, and you say, oh, man, you know, this is someone I don't know. And they turn out to be...
Michelle Pfeiffer, Grease, too. That was
Yeah,
her
that's
first
true, too.
debut.
And then Michelle Forbes on next year, I don't know.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Look where his career went.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
know?
I'm just terrified, that's all, because I'm used to seeing Marta Kristen.
I know.
Oh,
Penny Robinson will be played by a girl named Lacey Chalbert. She's the little girl on a show called Party of Five. I don't know if anybody watches Party of Five.
Yeah, I've tuned in a couple of times.
You know, the younger girl in it. She's the role. She's the role of Penny, which I think is because she looks just like her. Will Robinson is being played by a newcomer named Jack Johnson. Don't know any information about him.
probably his first movie, maybe.
Don West is being played by an actor named Sean Patrick Flannery, who is in a movie called Powder. And Dr. Smith is being played by character actor Gary Oldman.
Who was in
from
Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That was an excellent movie.
And The Scarlet Letter with Demi Moore, and a new movie coming up called The Professional. He's a very well-respected, and this is a $70 million budgeted big blockbuster movie for
can't wait.
the spring or summer of '98. You know, so
98?
yeah.
Oh.
Well, what they want to do is they want to wait till all the Star Wars stuff is over, the Jurassic Park, the Batman stuff,
Yeah.
all that stuff's out of the
But
way.
they
Then
need
there's
a chance.
They don't want to
Yeah.
compete with
They
something.
don't want to compete with any of that.
And you know we're
Plus, it's not going to be done by the summer anyway. They're just starting March. So
That's true, too.
And about the like the original cast.
Yeah, well, what are they gonna play?
all the original cast members have cameos in the film.
What are they going to play, though?
Well, apparently, the only thing that's confirmed is Jonathan Harris. Of course, he asked for a lot of money, which he will get. But apparently, Gary Oldman, as Dr. Smith, looks into his future and sees Jonathan Harris as an older Dr. Smith in a scene where he confronts his older self. And other cast members may have parts like that, or maybe aliens, or they might have, you know, if you ever saw the Brady Bunch movie, the Brady Bunch people had different,
Alice was a truck driver.
complete, you know.
You read my mind.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we will look at it. And Daphne's Madhouse is going to cover anything on Lost in Space, any news,